I don't know if he's still there. Ben, who we just played.
Yeah.
Just played. Ben, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Hi,
Okay.
Ben.
I've been getting stuff ready.
You're a big Taylor Swift fan, right? So, are you still mad at John Mayer?
The Swifties will probably hate me, but I'm kind of a fan of John Mayer. Not technically what he did to her as a person, but his music is pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah. And what did he do to her? He broke up with her, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So.
he broke
I mean, it was kind of like a grooming situation.
She was young.
He was way too old to be dating to her
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot.
But
I mean, that stuff happens all the time. It just was very public with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your concert in
Not that
Cincinnati.
it's okay for it to happen.
Yeah. Well, have fun in Cincinnati. A lot of people are jealous.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, it's not
yes.
grooming if they're an adult. She was an adult.
Young one.
But saying grooming, that's like you're talking about somebody's being a pedophile.
Are you defending yourself for when you date a 19-year-old?
when I do, yeah.
I'm just wondering.
Obviously.
Because that is going to not look good.
Yeah. See, maybe not to you, but Squid.
No, it will not. No, it will not.
Show me the birth certificates.
If there
No,
is,
I have no interest in dating someone who's 19. But I'm saying it's not. I think it's unfair to say it's grooming when I know we put him on the spot when someone's an adult. They're an adult. Okay,
let me see.
If he met her now, if she was
19.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he was 31.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
That is, Jared. Listen, that's. She's 19.
yeah.
19
She's an
years
adult.
old.
I think if you had maybe like a normal upbringing childhood, but I think she's in such a different situation because from the time she was 13, she has not lived a normal life.
She hasn't.
So
But
what's
it's
the
still,
max
it's
that
like
she could date?
That's so. But that
At
your
19.
equivalent there, Matt. Though I have to disagree because Drew Barrymore is introduced to drugs and alcohol by her own mother, and she's a child actor. And then, but we're supposed to be like, well, that's okay.
No, I don't think that's okay either.
I just think it's more understandable because their lifestyles is so bizarre.
I feel like Taylor Swift for some reason comes across to me as being way more sheltered. So I feel like at 19 she's not as street smart maybe or as experienced as someone who had like lived a normal high school career would be at 19.
At 19, I didn't know nothing.
Yeah,
I had just stolen a pair of sunglasses from the Kohl's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So if
Like,
John Mayer approached you, who you were a fan of, at 19,
sure.
it's like, let's go out, you say no?
I think it's a fun make out, but
That's
I
what they
think the
did.
fact that they dated, but I also think the fact that he went there as a 31-year-old man and go.
So if
I
he,
am not alone here.
So if
I
he,
am not alone.
So if he was Squid, are you
Squid,
agreeing?
no, his own opinion.
like, I mean, 18, 9, I'm like the teens.
The
it's
teens.
Like, I'm like,
She's a teen.
Nah, like there's so much. I feel like there's so much that you like learn from like 18
He's not
to
trying
21.
to marry her. They're just
Well, I
hanging
know.
out.
Well,
having
I
fun.
know he might have been at one point. I don't know.
John Mayer?
What if
No.
your
I mean,
daughter
they dated
came
for
to
a
you?
while. That's weird. I mean,
Yes.
if you're 30 something, there's so much more knowledge
No,
that you
Thank you,
have
Squid.
compared to that person who's
First of all, I've
18,
never
19.
dated when I was in my 30s, and I was single
Just
before
because you
my
haven't done
30s.
it doesn't mean you're clearly in favor of it.
No,
like,
I'm
you
not in
think
favor.
it's okay.
No.
You're
I
defending
see
it.
Now I see what Jason says. Putting words in my mouth.
No, don't even.
No,
Don't
what
bring
I said-
anybody else into this
What I
argument because
said-
that you're losing.
I'm not losing the argument.
You are.
It's
Don't
not grooming.
Don't bring
It's
anybody
Katie.
else in.
It's not grooming if you're an adult. That's what I said.
grooming
That was
aside.
my whole thing. The guy said, well, he was grooming her. No, grooming is when someone's underage, and then you wait till they become of age to say, now we're ready.
Fine. By definition,
That's what
whatever. My point is 31-year-old dating a 19-year-old is gross. That's gross.
What if they're 43 and 30?
I think that's
43
different.
and 32.
You have some different life experiences. She's in her teens, man. She's in her teens.
So people should. So what's the max a 19-year-old should date?
I'm thinking like
I would
the
say
same age.
I would say 24.
Yeah. I think you're same age. At 19, same age. If my daughter comes to me at 19 years old and says, I'm dating a 31-year-old, I'm going to have a problem
No,
with
I'm not
that.
gonna like it either. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the grooming thing. I had a big problem with him saying he's a groomer.
I didn't know that was your issue.
Well, the initial thing I said is that
Yeah.
it's not grooming if someone's
it's
of age.
still gross.
Okay.
It is. It is.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss was talking about he was dating like a 19-year-old when he was like 36, and he was talking to Bill Maher, and he's like, well, and he goes, She's an adult, and I agree. She's an adult.
But it's the
Either you're an adult or you're not an adult.
You know, it's the countdown clocks that people
That's
have.
gross.
You know, it's disgusting. It's predatory and it's disgusting.
Well, and
I mean,
that's
it
actually
is.
grooming in a way. If you have a countdown clock, because they're not 18, you're like, if you're talking to some girl before she's 18, or she's like 16 or 17, and you're in your 30s, and you're waiting until you turn 18.
Yes.
To then, because you've set the stage. It's the definition of grooming somebody. It's just like, whoa. But Squid, you are not a toxic king.
You are.
What?
He is. He is
So
just
if-
standing up for what he thinks, and then you don't agree with it, so, he's
a
not on
toxic
board.
king cares about if they're 19 and you're 31. They don't care. They're both adults.
I don't know. It's just it's sketchy waters.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, because legally, yes, you're an adult at 18, but it's like, are you actually an adult? Like, no,
you're not.
No, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, I
You
feel
can
like,
fight and die for a country, but you can't date a 31-year-old.
and you can't have a
Says
beer.
the predators.
I mean, yeah, that's
The beer,
yeah,
the beer thing is a whole other story. That's always been odd to me.
I mean, I feel
like, you
like-
can go to war, but you can't drink. It's like, okay.
I feel like it's one thing if like John Mayer, like a 31-year-old, you know, you hook up with a 19-year-old, it's a one-time thing, whatever. She's adult, whatever, legal, consenting. But if you're like there and you're like making her your like girlfriend and like having her like, I don't know, because if you're trying to
Squid.
date her, like there has to be
It's
some
a
type of
difference.
manipulation involved.
Yes, there's a difference.
Even though like it's legal and obviously they're an adult, there's still some type of like.
No, I mean, I think, and I've never done this. I mean, I've dated some. I mean,
would you be open to it though?
I married someone that's 10 years younger than me, but they were 25, and I was 35, or it's not exactly 10 years.
There is.
As you get older, it seems like the age doesn't matter
Well,
as
yeah,
much.
because you have more life experience. But I will say, and we talk about it all the time on the show, and it does not change my stance. I think it's gross that there is like this. Oh, she's 10 years younger than me. Great. It's to me. There's a.
Squid's gonna watch. Squid will be single in his 30s, and all of a sudden he'll change his mind.
Well,
But
don't get me wrong.
where
Don't get me wrong. If my rap career popped off tomorrow, I'm at a concert and the most beautiful 18-year-old in the world wants to sleep with me that night. Probably gonna sleep with her. Yeah. But
That's what I'm saying!
Yeah. But I'm saying as far like, cause like building a relationship, like
I'm
and you're
not saying
31
that.
and like with a
No.
teen, like you're building a relationship and making like dating her and like I don't know. It's just weird.
I'm not for
I don't
that.
know.
No, I'm not for that either. I'm not for that. And by the way, were you being groomed when you were with a 55-year-old?
Yes, he was being. Yes, he
What
was
type
being
of
used
groomed?
for his body.
I don't know.
According to what you're saying, that's 30. She had kids older than you.
What I'm saying,
you
that
knew. Trust
wasn't-
me.
he
Well, I
wasn't
wasn't
18 though.
I know
though.
he knows. Well, we're talking about 19, but he was like 23.
Yeah, I mean it's still a lot.
So what?
I feel like there's a
It's Squid. You like at my age, I know nothing.
yeah.
A few years ago, you knew nothing.
Well,
it's
still,
like
there's
55
I
years
still knew
old?
a lot more than I did when I was 18 and 19. Like a lot.
He's
more.
27 now.
I know it's like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't say it so
so
loud.
it's-
Don't say it so loud.
Oh,
yeah.
excuse me.
So was that not gross when a
It's a-
55-year-old woman was?
Of course, I said
Yeah.
it then. I say it now. But he was like sleeping with
Yeah.
her for the Rolex, and he was
Yeah.
not 18.
Well, she's 19.
19.
She was 19.
He was not 19.
I'm not
know.
saying John Mayer's treated. I don't know how he treats women because he's slept with thousands of women.
Yes, but it
And-
doesn't sound like his track record was all that great. And he's even said that there are lots of things that he feels badly about. I mean, his whole thing with Jessica Simpson, where he would call her sexual napalm, and I mean, she felt the same exact way. But teens is my issue. The teen part.
So if you're 19, you should only date someone 19.
I think you should date somebody your age.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Matt, what do you think, just in general?
Yeah, I think 19 to 31 is too big of a gap. I think you haven't your maturity is way too far apart at that point.
Oh, that's probably true. Although if it's a guy, the woman's probably more mature than you are.
Well, that's probably true, but
Yeah.
And that's the big difference. Michelle, what do you want to say about this dating gap?
Well, talking about your guys' situation and listening, and my son is 18 and a half, and he's dating, well, he started out dating a 21-year-old. They dated for 2 years, and now he's dating a 27-year-old, lives on his own. He's been working for 3 years. What's your opinion on it?
So he's like 20 and he's dating a 27-year-old?
Well, he's actually going to be 19
Okay.
the end of November, and he's dating a 27-year-old.
Katie, what do you
well,
think?
this is different because it's a guy.
Why is it different?
Well, because he's
That's like,
Well, 'cause it's not
I
the
don't
same
think it's
as the-
actually any different because I've chastised him too for it
mhm,
and told him he needs to date like within his like no older than 20, 21.
mhm.
But I can't control him now because he has his own place. He has his own apartment, lives on his own. So, yeah.
I mean, to be
Kind of one
fair,
of those
I don't think
situations.
any teenager should be in a serious relationship with anybody.
No, I don't either. I
Because
do not
it's like,
either.
I mean,
And it's different because we were talking about the predatory and the grooming when it comes to an older man with it. So you see, the actual circumstances are different. Now, if we're just going based off age, I think that it's probably, I don't know what they have in common. As a 27-year-old, I don't know what you have in common with an 18-year-old. I really don't.
Yeah.
You're not in the same phase of life.
My brother actually too. When I was probably 21 myself, and I had a 21-year-old friend, and he was 33, and they dated. And I was just like, ew, like that's my best friend. Like, come on. It was just like weird.
Quite honestly,
Thank you.
when we would be partying in college or just out of college, and we're, let's say we're 18, 19, 20, 21, and then, or like right out of college, if there was a 27-year-old dude hanging out with all of us, we would be like, what is wrong with that old perv? Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's like on the college campus. It's like,
but,
what?
well, even on college campus or post-college. I mean, you're 27. Why are you hanging out with a
But what if you just met by chance? You didn't know how
you
old they
could,
were.
but if they're like going to the same parties
What if it's
and
the
stuff,
hottest person you ever thought?
I don't care. It's still.
No, I
mean,
think
it
going
could
to the
be
same
hot,
parties
but
is
it's like,
odd. If you're partying with college kids and you're 5, 7, 10 years out of college, I've always thought that's like a loser thing to do.
It's like
now, if you're just out somewhere and you have no idea,
No,
and yeah.
But I'm saying that happened a lot where we would have parties or we'd be going out and we're like, what is he? Why is he still hanging out with R8? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
That happens a lot. I know you don't like to hear that. But it's true.
Why don't I like to hear that?
Because
I didn't go to parties.
You like the age gap thing.
I don't like the age gap. I just
But
think
men typically are like, oh, I scored someone 10 years young. We hear it every day on the show.
but if you're 35, they're 25, or you're 45 and they're 35, I think it's a lot
Dudes
different.
gloat about that.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm saying
it's more about what they look like, though.
But the women are like, why is that guy? Why?
But then a lot of women date older guys.
When we get a little bit old, we get a little bit older.
But I remember like when you were probably in your 20s and you're talking about guys that worked here, they were in their 50s, you thought were attractive.
I would never date.
But you're like, oh, they're hot for their age, and they're like in their 50s.
Only because I was asked how. Because we also do that on this show.
Yeah, that's true.
When it's planted in your face and you have to have an opinion on it, you have an opinion.
Right. What's the oldest age gap you've gone on a date with?
Oh God, I don't remember. Ben's 4 years. I mean, I haven't been on a date in forever, but Ben's 3.5 years
You
older
never
than
dated
me.
anyone more than like 4 years older than you?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Like going on a date?
Maybe.
Well, good.
But I don't know.
We're going back to the caller, which she said her son's 18 and a half and the girl's 27. Like at that point though, like you can like say like maybe like in her 20s, that's like the girl's prime. And so maybe if he's 18, I'm on his board. I'm like, hell yeah, dog, you're scoring her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's almost like
A woman's prime is in her 40s.
You're doing the reverse
Sexually.
Goodman, where it's okay it's okay for girls to do, but not good for guys to do.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
This thing is called the reverse Goodman.
Yeah, pretty much.
So now you're back to being a toxic king. I like it. All right, Cameron.
Only when he agrees with you. Or
No,
you're like,
I'm
I have an
not
opinion.
necessarily agreeing with that. I'm just saying. Cameron, what do you have a question for Katie when it comes to? All right, if you're just joining us, we're recapping Pop Quiz.
Oh my God.
Are we?
Yeah,
No,
we
we're
were.
not anymore.
But John Mayer,
Yes.
Taylor Swift is saying, hey, leave any of my exes alone. But especially if something happened when I was 19, and people say, well, John Mayer's 31, and we had a listener who was playing the game and said, yeah, he was grooming her, and I took issue with the fact they said grooming because she was an adult. There's a big distinction between, and then Katie's saying, but you still don't like the age gap.
Yeah, I took issue because it still sounds predatory. It sounds he's 31 years old, hanging out, trying to date and sleep with a 19-year-old. To me, feels gross.
Would it be not to?
It feels
I just
gross.
thought about this, but would it be predatory for some like a very attractive woman, like in her 20s? Hold on.
Yep.
Even 19,
Okay.
like a model, to go after a rich guy and she doesn't like him at all, who's a gold digger.
Then we call her a gold digger.
But that you think
There's
that's
different
predatory.
terms. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I
agree.
There's one goal in mind and one goal only. The older dude wants to sleep with a young girl. The young girl wants money.
Wants money, got
I mean,
you.
that is your goal.
Yeah. All right, Cameron, what's your question for Katie?
Katie,
Yeah.
what if you just said a woman's sexual prime is in her 40s? What if a 40-year-old woman dates a 19-year-old girl
Predatory.
or 19-year-old? But society says it's okay. So where do we draw the line? Is it
care.
worse for?
I don't care what
And
society says.
when I was 19, I dated a 45-year-old woman who had a son as old as I was.
Okay, do you want to hear that we think it's
Where
okay?
do we draw the line with that?
We don't. It's not my line to draw. That's your line to draw. Do you want us to say that it's okay? Are you looking for justification? I mean, I don't. What are you looking for?
No, I just want to say, does it work both ways?
For me, yes, it does.
Is it okay for an older woman to date a younger man?
I think it's also predatory.
Okay.
But Squid doesn't. He thinks it's okay if it's reversed.
Well, no, I
It's
mean,
reverse
20.
payment.
I'm saying 27. Yeah,
Oh, at
A
27.
40. What did he say? 45-year-old
45
woman, and he was.
dating a
I
19.
said 45 with a 19-year-old.
Yeah, what in
Well,
the
we
hell
need,
did you
we
have
need
in
to
common?
change the definition of an adult. Either you're an adult or you're not an adult. It might not be. Would it be? Would you
Yeah.
advise it?
No.
But are they an adult? Can they make their own decisions? Are they treated like an adult or not?
I don't. Yeah, I
Or
mean,
maybe we should say an adult's 25 because that's apparently when you can rent a
when
car
you can
by
rent a
yourself.
car.
Which I've always thought
Yeah.
was bizarre.
I think
Yeah,
you're
yeah, it
more,
really is.
Why are you
Yeah.
25 to rent a freaking car?
I think you are more adult at 25 than you are at 18. I
Of
do. I
course,
mean,
yeah.
I made horrible decisions at 18. I made
Yeah.
horrible decisions at
Nah.
25. I make horrible decisions now at this
Yeah,
age.
yeah.
Right.
But it's like 18 is still just so young. Just because you graduate high school does not make you an adult.
No, and I always felt too like because I had dated people 10 years younger than me before, is that I wanted them to be out of college and into their career for multiple years. Because otherwise I felt it just, what type of, because you're definitely an adult. You're paying your own bills.
Yes.
You have a house.
You're on your own.
You're
You
doing
got
your
a
own
mortgage.
thing,
Sure.
you
And you
know.
can be doing that at 18.
It's
That is not the norm.
No, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't
You
be
should
doing that.
not
at
be.
18. You're really ruining your life.
At 18, I'm going into college and I'm signing up for every single credit card
Yes.
in the world to get a free T-shirt.
absolutely.
In what world does that make me an adult? It doesn't.
No, yeah, true. But I've also got timeshares in my 30s.
I'm the first to say
So
I make bad decisions
should
now.
Definitely, I should date someone much, much older because
I think that's the route you should be going. Switch it up a little bit.
I've gone out with people that are
Yeah,
older
but
than me.
I'm talking about like if and when there's ever a long term you can go out with, but long term I think the route we should be taking here is older. Switch it up.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
younger hasn't worked. I mean, Heather's only 4 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Same as y'all, but whatever. Let's go to Angie. What do you think about this age gap between John Mayer and Taylor Swift when they first dated?
Good morning, Jared and Katie.
Hi.
I have really strong feelings about this, and I think it really depends on the people. I was 19 when I met my husband, and we got together when I was 21, and we've now been together 27 years. He's 15 years older than I am, and I was living on my own. I had my own house, had bought it. I was an acting adult, which is kind of like the difference between the definition of an adult by an age and the definition of an adult by someone who's actually adulting. And, I mean, it's worked for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking to get married at that age. I wanted to settle down. That was my purpose. We met in a common, we were playing pool league together. And, it worked. And we were together 7 years before we actually got married. So I think it depends very much on the people that are involved.
No, that's definitely true.
I like that word, acting adult. Or
I
words.
was acting.
Like an
acting
active adult.
An
You're
active
actually,
adult.
yeah, you're actually doing adult
Yeah,
stuff.
you're doing adult stuff.
Yeah.
It does make a difference.
Yeah.
All right, Kimmy, you dated a much younger, or you are dating a much younger guy?
Yeah, never thought that I would a day in my life, but I have found the men in my age bracket are not up to par,
They have
to
ED.
say,
They
but
have ED.
Am I?
How old are you, Kimmy?
I'm 50,
Okay.
and my boyfriend is 36,
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even that sounds better.
and he is more mature, more responsible than anybody that I've dated around my age.
Mhm.
Yeah. We
I can
definitely
see
have a life
that, though.
experience at 36.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's funny, we're like, that's fine, but like 19 and 33, we're like, ooh.
Because the teen, Jared.
Right,
That's what I've been saying at the
right,
very
but it's
beginning.
still
So what about
15 years
20 and
apart.
34?
Hmm.
Like it's magically different when you're 20?
No, it's
Sounds
not that
better.
there's magically. It does sound better.
Sounds so much
It does.
better.
I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds better, but no, it doesn't. It's just that being
I
that
think
age.
younger, yeah, there is a questionable thing there. But I think, yeah, as you get older, it is different because it's just
It is different. It
you're
is
more mature. I just don't think at 18, 19, 20, you're developed enough to date somebody that's 10, 15, 20 years older than you.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kimmy, thank you. I appreciate it. Very interesting. We got to
Wow.
finish recapping pop
Yeah,
quiz.
we do. Sorry.
At this point.
Although I did find it very fascinating.